What up, guys? Wingo back today, and I have the review on the Isami Pound MMA Sparring Gloves. These gloves are made in Japan. They're an MMA sparring glove, like I said. They're obviously a Puffy glove, which is all I'll let my MMA fighters spar in because, let's face it, the other sparring gloves, they suck with that little 1 inch of padding that they have. They're just not very good. Now, Isami is a brand from Japan. They're like the winning of MMA, supposedly, but, and I can see why that's said, because these gloves are definitely super high quality as far as it goes for an MMA glove. These ones right here are $150. I had to get them from the chokesports.com, and the reason they're the American distributor for Isami Sports. So I ordered them through them, and these ones are pre-made in China, but they're made with the same materials and the same quality as the handmade ones in Japan. The thing about the handmade ones in Japan, they're about $20 more expensive, but they're made to order, whereas these ones they already had ready to ship to go. So I decided to order these, and plus, kind of wanted some black and white ones anyway, so versus the other colorways that they had. So I went ahead and picked these up, and I'm glad I did. They have quite a bit of a difference between other MMA sparring gloves. The quality in these is stepped up quite a bit. There's as much padding over the knuckles, as you can see, as a 14 to 16 ounce boxing glove. And you also have this nice pad right here for hammer fist when you're sparring. The whole thing's made out of leather. It has a Velcro strap right here. Even the inside is made out of leather, which it's kind of weird, but for an MMA sparring glove, it makes sense because it's open, and if you have cloth, that could kind of lead to the material being ripped out. So I'm actually glad they did it in leather. Although if you don't use hand wraps like I have on, it can be rather uncomfortable with that leather until it gets broke in. But it was a really good idea for them to do that rather than use a lining, because it's going to last a lot longer, and all you have to do to make it comfortable is put a hand wrap on. It's pretty simple, actually. And when you put your hand in the glove, hold on, I'm going to put my hand in the left glove because I have this hand wrap. It feels pretty good. It's a comfortable glove. You have this elastic strap that comes around your wrist and pulls it around your wrist to give it some tightening. You have the finger loops that go through your fingers and a thumb loop right here. Use the Velcro strap, and it comes off at an angle to pull this hammer fist pad in, as you see right there. And there's even a little bit of padding behind the leather strap on the wrist right there, so that when it goes back against your wrist, it doesn't feel so uncomfortable. And when you pull it, that helps pull the hammer fist pad in place as well. And then you close it off like that. It does have really thick piping on the wrist, which I feel like maybe it would be better if they didn't have the piping on it and went with like the winning style Velcro gloves. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but they don't have the piping on it. And a lot of people don't like that, and at first I didn't like that about the winning gloves either, the Velcro gloves. I don't really like Velcro gloves anyways, but it's actually a good idea, because when you're sparring, that piping can catch and get knocked off, and then you can scratch your sparring partner with Velcro. So it's actually a good idea I think, sometimes to not have the piping, or at least have it recessed in. That's one of the few negatives about the glove, is that thick piping might catch, but that's easy fix. All you have to do is tape the Velcro, and that's not going to be an issue. It feels good when you punch with it. Very, very ergonomic, as long as you have a hand wrap on. Otherwise, it's kind of uncomfortable. The padding is about 2 inches thick, just like a boxing glove, a 14 ounce to a 16 ounce sparring glove. So you're going to be able to spar pretty hard in these. The padding is like they say it's like a double sponge foam, and it squishes in. It squishes in like really far, but you can't feel your knuckles through it. and it's still soft even when it's squished in. So you're going to be able to hit your sparring partners pretty hard with these, just like you have a sparring boxing glove on, or you're doing anything like that. So they work pretty good for that. I'm gonna I did some sparring in these gloves, and there's footage of that. I'm gonna cut the video and give you a clip of the sparring footage that I had in this, so that you can see I had no problems with grappling in it whatsoever. I'll go. You can get all your grips. I can go palm to palm. I can go over my wrist like this and get this grip. I can do S grips just fine. Actually, I should put both gloves on to show you this, because it's kind of unfair to not have both gloves on as I do it. S grip, just fine. No problem. I can go over my wrist just fine. It's kind of hard to grab over the palm like this, but it's easily adjusted by going like this over the wrist. Gable grip, no problem. Basket grip, that's useless anyways, and you can get hurt doing it. There's no point doing that, guys. Don't do a basket grip, or whatever the heck that's called. I don't know why some people talk about doing that for MMA. It's not a good grip. You can get your fingers broke. It's easy as hell. It's easy as heck to get underhooks in these things too. It's not really a problem, and you'll see it in the sparring footage that I'm about to show you. I'm going to cut this right now and switch over to the sparring footage.
Okay. You're good.
Now, as you can see in the footage, I wasn't having a problem with striking, punching. Obviously, I wasn't having a problem with kicking. I didn't have a problem with getting underhooks. I didn't have a problem getting my grips to get the guillotine choke off. I was able to use some hammer fist and some ground and pound. I went light on it, although I could have went harder, but it was a newer student. But I definitely felt like I could have hit harder, and it wouldn't have been an issue. And I had no problem grabbing up an armbar off of it in the footage. And every other time I use these gloves, it isn't too bad of a problem. Like, you might think, oh, you have problems getting chokes in because you can't get this part of your hand under, or this part of your hand under the throat. But really, I don't need to get this part of my hand under the throat to get a rear naked choke off. All I need to do is get my thumb under, and I'm good. So that's not really too big of a problem if you know what you're doing. And there's underhooks. Oh yeah, you might not be able to just stick it in there, stick your hand in there like that. You wouldn't be able to do that with the regular, with the UFC glove on or a fight glove on anyway. So the only way you're going to be able to get underhooks in the fight, you might as well train it anyways, is you got to open up their arm somehow by grabbing their wrist or doing something. So hey, that's not really an issue either. These are also they're a great partner training glove when you're doing partner drills, but you have to be at a higher level because you have to be a lot more accurate, and you have to understand that you don't have the big gloves on, so your shots got to be a lot crisper, and they got to be a lot more accurate, and you got to have somebody that's able to understand the shots that are coming in fast enough. Otherwise, it could lead to problems. But if you're a high level amateur to pro level, then yeah, partner training in these is a must, and getting these gloves is a must. It will definitely help you out in your training camp. When you're throwing hooks too, it has a very good padded thumb right there. So if you do end up hitting your thumb, it's not going to jam so bad. You have thumb protection. It allows you to open your hand so that, like I said, you can get all your grips and you clench a natural fist. It doesn't force you to clench a fist. It doesn't force your hand necessarily to be open. And it definitely keeps your knuckles curved so you won't poke a lot of sparring partners in the eyes unless you're purposely trying to. But if you're just reaching out like that, you shouldn't have a problem with poking somebody in the eye. As you can tell, like from the way that my hands are. Watch as I reach. You see my fingers? They're bent down. They're not straight out. If I'm going straight out like that, I'm trying. So my overall opinion of these gloves is they are probably the best MMA sparring glove on the market at the moment. But yeah, I have no complaints about these. The price on them, like, yeah, it's a high price for an MMA sparring glove, but the quality of these, like, they're gonna last you for years. There's not gonna be any issues with the quality of these. The leather, as you can see, it's very shiny and very smooth and slick. It's an overall beautiful glove. It's not too big, but it definitely has the right amount of padding over the knuckles, as you can see. So I really can't say anything bad about this glove other than when you get on the bag, it's not comfortable hitting the bag with. That's one thing I have noticed about these gloves. It's not a very good bag glove. That's where this glove kind of starts to fail a little bit, is on the bags. If you hit them with the bags, it's just going to end up being flat, and it doesn't quite feel right on your knuckles either. At least for me, it didn't. But anytime I'm using them for partner drills, or like even hitting mitts or sparring, no problems whatsoever. Perfectly comfortable. Every shot feels good when I land it. Good protection for my knuckles. Good protection for my sparring partners so they don't get hurt. I haven't had any complaints from any of my students when I spar them about these. These are an amazing glove, and if you want to order them, again, you can get them at chokesports.com if you're in America. These are the Isami Pound Gloves. Beautiful pair of gloves. The hammer fist pad, which is unique to these gloves. There isn't any other gloves on the market that have that, and that right there was the main thing that drew me to it, as well as trying to see what the padding was like in these gloves. And Isami, you guys hit the mark on this. This is definitely what the MMA community needs, and if more people knew about these, people would be getting better a lot faster training in these gloves. These gloves are amazing. I can't recommend them enough to you guys. If you're an MMA guy and you're serious about it, go get a pair of these. It's been Coach Wingo. I'll talk to you guys later.